Hi everyone, my name is Luxthos, and I'm bringing you guys today another Diablo 4 guide. This time around, I want to talk about the important question, why you are not getting loot. So this is a question I get a lot of the time in the comment section, on Twitter, on Twitch. I need this item, I need this unique, why am I not able to farm it? How do I get it? And here's one of the big problems. There's been a lot of content created around this about target farming and around how to get your best unique and how to get exactly what you're looking for. And I think there's a major problem that needs to be fixed outside of target farming. And that's why I wanted to make this video, and that's why I wanted to give you the information here. So you've probably seen this website going around. Amazing tool, really cool little website. Really nice little tools that allows you to pretty much target farm any unique that you want. So it tells you which unique you want. Let's say that I want Shaco, right? I can click on Shaco or Harlequin Crest for those of you. And you can pretty much see which monster type in the game has a higher chance of dropping Helm, for example, which results in a slightly higher chance of getting Harlequin Crest. But here's the problem. If you're currently trying to gear your character, let's say you are sub-level 100, right? You are sub-level 100, you're doing Nightmare Dungeon, and you're like, I really need this helm. I would love the Grandfather Sword. I would love a Shaco. I would love Doombringer. I need this item. You should not focus on where to get those items. There is something way more important that is probably limiting the amount of loot that you're getting, and that's where I want to get into. It's going to be efficiency farming. That is going to be the most important aspect, and we're going to deep dive a little bit more into this. So what's happening here is, let's say that you're playing a druid, whatever class that you have, and you really want the helm that you need for your class. You want your Tempest Roar, you want your Mad Wolf, and you're going to start farming some specific dungeon that have a higher chance of doing this thing. One of the big problem that is going to happen is you're going to waste a lot of precious time trying to find the right key, trying to make sure it's in the list here, and you're going to be losing a crazy high amount of time. And that's one of the biggest mistake that I see people doing right now. The name of the game in most Diablo game, and actually pretty much every ARPG, is actually being time efficient. It's actually to farm as much as you can and as fast as you can. This is going to lead into higher loot quantity. Higher loot quantity will means that you're going to be able to get all of the loot that you want eventually. One of the big problem, obviously, this doesn't apply if you're level 100 and there's only one loot in the game that you're missing. Obviously, target farming is going to be good for you. If you're level 100, you have most of the pieces you're looking for, and you're just trying to have fun and try to farm Shaco, for example, please do so. Please do so. Look at the list. Try to see where Shaco might have a slightly higher chance of dropping, and you can start investing time into this. But if you're like the majority of people right now, and you're not yet level 100, you're in your 70, 60, 80, 90, and you're just trying to gear up your character and to get stronger, the best thing you can do is improve your efficiency, okay? What do I mean by efficiency? Does that sound like anybody if I pretty much do a couple Nightmare Dungeon, and then, you know, it takes me maybe 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes per Nightmare Dungeon. And then I get out, and then my inventory is looking like this. And then you're here going like, okay, stats, no, that's not good. Okay, and then you take like 10 minutes, 20 minutes to clear out your inventory, go to your chest, run there, take a snack, This is one of the biggest problems. You're limiting the amount of Nightmare Dungeon that you end up doing, and you're lowering the amount of loot overall that you're getting. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks that you can do to farm as fast as possible and be efficient as much as possible. One of the biggest wastes of time that you're going to experiment is going to be filtering out your loot and clearing out your inventory. So first of all, try to only loot things that are going to be useful to you. For me, the easiest way to do this is I loot every legendary, every unique, and then I only loot ancestral gear. Obviously, if you're still in tier 3, that's going to be sacred. But if you're in tier 4, that's going to be ancestral. There's even some type of item that sometimes I'm not even going to loot at all. For example, Scythe, I could not loot them, but my brain still has not figured out exactly what the name of the items are. So this is another step that I'll simply click every ancestral. That's just going to make it a little bit easier for me. But if you're pretty good at it and you can figure out which name is which item type, that's going to save you a lot of time. But in general rule, simply loot all of the item that could potentially be an upgrade for you. The rare, it's going to be ancestral, and then you loot every legendary and every unique, obviously. And the biggest tip that I can give you right now is this sort button. This is really, really, really good. So what this is going to do once you click it is it's going to order all of the items in your bag by type and item level, which means that it will put all the helm next to each other. Then it will do chest. Then it will do shield. Then it will do offhand. Then 2 henders. And then it's going to do 1 henders that are going to show up afterward. And then it's going to do glove, pants, boots, ring, and necklace. What this means is that you can save a lot of time with this little button, right? So you make sure to click it, have all of the items sorted out, and there's going to be a couple general rules that I will do. So there's a couple of items that I'm not really interested in unless they have a minimum item level. Currently for me at 93, I'm pretty much not looking at anything below 800 item level. Because yes, I could find a slightest upgrade beneath that, but in most cases, I don't really care about it. The odds of finding something good for me that is going to carry me through plus 93, 95, and 100, the odds of finding one of those pieces of loot that is below 800 item level is pretty slim. Obviously, that excludes some item, which we're going to go over, like gloves and like rings and necklace. But for most cases, all the important pieces that are on this side of your inventory, they have to have high armor, high vitality, and those things upgrade with item level. So all of this right here, I'm going to try to get as high item level as possible. On this side, though, the item level doesn't matter as much once you're past like 725. It doesn't matter that much. So I'm going to be a little bit more thorough for ring and necklace. I'm going to spend a little bit more time. But when it comes to helm, as soon as I see that the first helm right now for me, for my threshold, my character, the first helm is not 800 item level. I can immediately cross both helm, because I know that the second one is going to be lower item level, right? Right now, I got 1 chest, not 800. I simply mark it. A shield, it is 800 item level. I take a look at it briefly. Doesn't have the stats I would be looking for if I was to use a shield. And it is pretty low item level, so I can easily mark all the next shield, right? I have a legendary in between. I'm going to take a look at the legendary power. No, it's not good. It's not perfect. I'm not keeping it. Simple as that. For offense, I look at the item level. So I just look at the first line, 769. I know that it's too low. I can mark both of them. Same thing for 2-hander. As you can see here, we got a pretty high item level 2-hander. So 813 is actually pretty nice, but it has distant enemy. I guess I could re-roll it. I might keep this one. It's actually pretty nice. I'm going to look at it later. I'm going to move on to the second one, below 800. Boom. I'm going to mark all of the 2-hander here. I don't need them. And then we're going to get into the 1-handers. I'm going to do the same thing. 800 item level, ultimate skills, don't really care. Everything else is below 800. Boom. There you go. Look at how much time I'm saving, because I don't care about these items. They're too low item level. I'm going to look at the gloves real quick. Not really good. The pants, too low item level. We're going to mark all the pants. Boots, too low item level. I'm going to mark the boots. You can look at, specifically, depending. Obviously, like, this depends. Like, I have 600 boots here, so I could spend a little bit more time trying to upgrade my boots. Probably wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. I only have 3 corpse tendril here. Ideally, I would try to love it. I only have 2. I would love to get a 3 at least, so I'm marking them really, really quickly. And then the rings and the amulet, we're going to spend a little bit more time here. So vitality, usually I don't want vitality for softcore on my rings, and then damage over time. I'm not playing any build that has damage over time. Cold damage, not really interested. And shadow damage, and then really bad rings for something I don't care. So it took me a very quick, it took me less time than it normally would by using this trick, right? By being able to mark all the items ahead of time, by being able to know that they're going to be an item power level. It just speeds up the whole process. Obviously, this is done way faster when I'm not explaining it, but this allows me to simply go to the vendor, and because they are all marked as junk, you can just right-click one and they'll all sell, or you can go to the blacksmith here and do salvage, all junk, and it will salvage only the items that are marked, including legendary. So this is the cool thing, because normally if you do all item, it's going to skip legendaries. But if you mark them as junk first, and then you do mark salvage all junk, you'll be good to go. Because I need gold, I'm going to sell. There we go. And then I got my one item. So now I can decide, okay, I'm going to go to the chest. I'm going to go drop it in there. This is a pretty valuable item. It's pretty high item level. So I'm going to want to make sure I store this one. But you want to do this as few as possible. So only make sure you keep items that you're going to want to look at later. And possibly try to not investigate it too much while you're doing like a Nightmare Dungeon session, right? Same thing is going to apply with your Sigil. So now that you're saving a little bit more time collecting your items, you need to save a little bit more time with your Sigil. So what I usually recommend is that you run efficient Sigil, which means that you only want, especially if you're still leveling, you're going to want to run Sigil that have monster realistically 3 level higher than you to get the maximum bonus of XP value that you can get out of them. That's really easy to tell. If you are in tier 3, you want to simply do your level minus 50. That's going to give you the Sigil level that you're looking to run. If you are in tier 4, you're going to do minus 51. So that's going to give you a very, very quick way of knowing exactly what Sigil level you're targeting. If your build is strong, you're doing well, feel free to run higher. The higher the key you run, the better the quality of the density of ancestral loot that you will get. So if you run higher Sigil, if you run higher keys, you're going to see more of the loot being ancestral, which means a higher pool of possible loot. But that's going to also slow you down because you're going to be looting more. You're going to be, you're going to be looting more. So it's all about efficiency, right? You have to find a middle ground between you're clearing fast and you're able to loot quality stuff. So I recommend keeping it between 3 to 10 levels higher than you, depending on how fast and efficient you are at it. And if the keys that you're running are efficient in terms of your build, pretty much the only thing you'll need to look at is going to be the first line of each key. Pretty much with the build that I'm running right now, I don't care. This is not going to be the case for every build, but you need to identify this beforehand. I don't really care at any of the affixes that I'm running below the first line. My build isn't really stopped by removal of, like reduction in critical strike. Or even if I get essence burn, I don't really care too much because I'm using a lot of my minions. So depending on your build, this might take a little bit more process to identify what kind of keys you want to run. But in general, you want to find a quick and easy rule to scout through your keys and be as fast as possible, right? So for me, what I do is every time I get a full inventory of keys, I'm going to go to the Oculist, and I'm going to disenchant all the keys that I don't like. For me, what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to look at the first line where it says Death Pulse right here. And this is where you're going to get the bad affixes, in my opinion. Cold Enchanted, I don't run that. I hate it. Lightning Storm, hate it. Suppressor, hate it. Everything else for my build, I can handle pretty easily. So I'll just look at the first line really quickly and see if I have like any outliers. I have some Storm Raid here. I don't really care too much, right? And as soon as I know that I have a bunch of keys that I can run, then I don't need to worry about it. If I have ones that I really don't want, I'll get rid of it. I'll go disenchant it, salvage it, whatever, and I'll just get rid of it. And then pretty much all I can do now is click any of those keys. I'm not going to try to target focus specific dungeon. I'm not going to try to worry too much about this because it's going to make me lose time, right? And it's all about efficiency. If you start looking at keys like shift, but it has this thing that I don't like. Oh, this one would have higher chance of dropping this. If you start doing that, you're wasting valuable time. You're not in a nightmare dungeon killing demons. That's the whole point. So make sure you're efficient. Try to allocate yourself a window of time. Be like, okay, I'm going to farm for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however amount of hours you want to farm in a bunch, right? And have your keys ready. Be ready. Salvage your item or sell your item quickly. Filter through them quickly. And make sure that you go through your key rapidly as well. And don't try to cherry pick them. Don't try to target farm unique. Don't try any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. Farm quickly, efficiently, and you'll get the loot that you need. By the time I was level 100 on my Necromancer, I had every single unique that Necromancer can possibly have outside of the 6 rare unique that everybody's chasing, I had at least 2 to 3 copy of every single of those unique. That includes the rarest one like Black River or Ring of Mendel. I even had a Razor Plate. I pretty much had every single one of them at least once, 2 or 3. I had multiple copies of these, and I was swimming in unique just because I was efficient with my time. I wasn't trying to target farm. This is my second Necromancer, by the way. I have another one that's level 100. But I wasn't trying to target farm. I was just blindly running keys as much as I could, as efficiently as I could. And that allowed me to get a massive, massive, massive amount of gear, right? So especially for the unique. Obviously, for legendaries, there's a lot of way that you can target farm or spend some of your currency, especially obols. You're going to be able to actually use the tool that we just showed a minute ago. This tool is going to allow you to know what you can gamble in order to get specific loot. So this is really, really good. Obviously, this is going to be in the description down below. You're going to be able to target specific loot for your class. So if you're a Necromancer and you're looking at the Skeletal Warrior unique here, you're going to be able to see all the information as to what you're going to want to do. So, for example, this one here for this piece, you're going to want to do boots. The most optimal item to gamble is boots on Necromancer. There you go. If you want to do Inner Calm, you want to do glove on Barbarian, for example. So you want to create another character and then gamble on that character. It doesn't matter if the item is lower item level because you're going to get the odds and all that stuff. There's a lot of information. You can take your time and read all of this. It is a really, really good tools if you want to farm specific legendaries. But again, for unique most of the time, you're not going to want to spend too much time on this. Even for dungeons, there's no dungeons that increase your odds of getting really like a specific type of legendary. Just gamble your obols. Try to get the proper piece for your obols if you're looking at specific legendaries. If you're doing Hell Tides, maybe target specific chests that have a higher chance of getting the loot that you're looking for. But when it comes to farming and getting gear, the best way to go about it is to spam Nightmare Dungeon and be efficient. You start the key, you clear it, upgrade your glyph, and if your inventory is not full, you immediately click another key. You immediately click another one. You clear that one, upgrade the glyph, check your inventory. If it's not, click another one. And then you repeat this process, until you need to clear your inventory. When you do, be efficient about it, and then start again the process. I know this is a lot of min-maxing, and it's a lot about, trying to speed through when it's technically just a video game. You should, chill and have fun and hang out. Yes, that's true. But if you want more loot, if you want to get the piece of loot that you're looking for, you need to be efficient about it. So it's not necessarily about going fast. It's about cutting the time loss that you have. So that was a quite straightforward video. And I just wanted to clear some things out because I see a lot of people are getting a little bit, I don't want to say baited, but they're getting into this target unique thing and they're wasting a lot of time filtering through keys and trying to optimize, when in reality, they're actually losing a lot of time. And I just wanted to get the information out there. If you like the video, make sure to leave a comment. If you have any questions about any of these topics, make sure to ask in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and you can also come visit me on Twitch if you would like. I pretty much stream every single day. I've been playing a lot of Diablo, and I would love to see you, even if it's just to say hi. I would appreciate it. But until then, my friend, I hope to see you in Sanctuary. Enjoy Diablo 4. Bye-bye.